name is Briana Vega, and this is my friend Natalie Myers, and I'm going to be presenting to you a workout program based specifically for a swimmer.
Okay, so we are going to start off with the flexibility exercises. I'm going to have Natalie warm up with a dynamic stretch called the quadricep pulls, which really helps stretch the quadricep muscles, especially the rectus formis. As you can see, Natalie is using her hand to grab her ankle and pull up directly behind her. Looking at her other arm, it is straight up in the air to help her with her balance. This exercise is good to do before practice because it will stretch out the quad muscles, which will help her with her kicking and her flip turns. Our next flexibility exercise is a static stretch. I picked a wall shoulder stretch that would directly target the pectoralis major. This exercise is good to do after practice because it will alleviate any tension or tightness that was caused from pulling at practice. To do this stretch, you would need to find a flat wall, stand perpendicular to it, and put, for example, your left elbow on the wall and turn your body towards the right. You will feel this in your chest. Next up, we have our core exercises. The first exercise we can do are Russian twists. This is a rotation exercise which will help strengthen your rectus abdominis and your internal and external obliques. We will start off at the baseline. To do this, we have to sit back on our glutes with our legs in the air bent and our back at an angle to the floor. We will turn our top half of the body side to side while going through the transverse plane. For a regression, all we would do is just put our feet down on the floor. This will put less pressure on our abdominal muscles. For a progression, we will hold a weight, which could be a med ball or a weighted plate. This exercise will help strengthen a swimmer's abdominal muscles in order to rotate their bodies while swimming freestyle or backstroke. Now we will be focusing on our glute activation exercise. This will target the gluteus maximus and the hip abductors in an external rotation movement. For the baseline of this exercise, Natalie will start off on her hands and knees. Keeping her knee in a bent position, she will contract her quad muscles, moving her knee away from the midline of her body while continuing this in and out movement. For a regression, we will simply hold the position for about 15 seconds on each leg. For a progression, we will add a band on top of the knees or under the knees, which will add tension and make this exercise harder. This exercise is good for a swimmer because it helps open up the hip abductors and strengthens the glute muscles, which benefits a butterflyer and a breaststroker. Now we will start the lower body exercises. The first exercise I have is unilateral step-ups. This targets the gluteus maximus and the quadricep muscles. It also targets the calf muscles and the adductor muscles. In order to do the baseline for this exercise, you will need a step-up box to start. You will be alternating your legs throughout the entire workout. You first step up onto the top of the box like you are going up the stairs, and with your alternate leg, you drive your knee up to your chest. To regress this exercise, you can do regular lunges while remembering to still drive your knee up to your chest. Another regression could be finding a lower level compared to your baseline step-ups and start doing the step-ups on that. To progress this exercise, we can add weight. If it is to our hands, we can add dumbbells or weighted plates. To our body, we can add ankle weights or even a weighted jacket. Adding weight will make this exercise even harder. Step-ups will strengthen a swimmer's quad muscles. This will help when pushing off the blocks from a start or even doing a flip turn and pushing off the wall. Next, we have bilateral glute bridges. This targets many muscles such as the gluteus maximus, rectus abdominis, erector spinae, hamstrings, and the adductors. This can also target your hip flexors and your quads. For the baseline of this exercise, you will start by grabbing a barbell and putting it across your hips. We will then put our shoulder blades on a bench while our body is flattened and in line like a tabletop. To begin, you will sink your hips down to the floor and shoot them up by contracting your glute muscles. This will be done for a continuous amount of reps. To regress this exercise, we will do this lying on the floor. Having your knees bent and your back flat on the floor, you are going to push your hips up by remembering to keep your body in line. To progress this exercise, we will simply add weight to both sides of the barbell. Since this movement is hip dominant, this exercise is great for improving a swimmer's underwater kicks and butterfly stroke. Now we will start with the upper body exercises. The first exercise I have for a horizontal push is a push-up. We will be targeting the pectoralis major, the deltoids, and the triceps. For the baseline of this exercise, we will start in a high plank position with our hands on the ground directly under our shoulders, keeping our back straight by contracting our core, glutes, and hamstrings. You'll begin by lowering your body and pushing yourself back up. Remember to not drop your hips at any point or push them out of line with your body. To regress this exercise, we will add an incline, which will decrease the tension on your arms. You can do this on a smaller level or on a bar as I am demonstrating in the video. To progress this exercise, we can use a TRX band, which will increase the tension by pulling the legs up and creating a decline. The next exercise we can do for a vertical push would be a standing dumbbell press. This will target the posterior deltoids as well as the biceps and the triceps. For the baseline of this exercise, we will start by having a firm stance and a comfortable starting weight in both hands. You must have your elbows bent and facing forward to create a 90-degree angle. Then we will push up and control coming down for a certain amount of reps. To progress this exercise, we can either add a heavier weight or do alternating dumbbell presses. This will create a harder workout because you are putting all your effort into one arm each time. For a regression, we can use a bench to sit, which will give you more stability while doing the dumbbell press. These 8 simple exercises are created to improve a swimmer's performance in the water and during the weightlifting sessions.